How do? And welcome to my radio corner, or my little ham shack, because I'm playing amateur radio this afternoon. And I've got my computer on here, doing some computer to computer contacts. I've already contacted Spain, which is good. And I've been playing with my new toy that came this week. It's a VHF UHF little handheld walkie-talkie. And it's amazing, this hobby and the technology. On this little radio, I've just had a conversation with someone in New York on Manhattan Island, going to church, which was in Times Square. I didn't know there was a church in Times Square. I thought it was just all neon lights and tourist places, but there's a church in Times Square, and that's where I was off to. And on a little radio like that, I was able to speak with him. There's also been someone from Indonesia. It's amazing. A little cheap handheld like this, and I can talk to people all over the world. Anyway, beer review time, because I thought whilst I'm playing all this amateur radio, I'm going to have a beer. And the beer today is one I brewed a while ago. It's Munton's Handcrafted Smugglers Special Ale. Now, to be fair, I left this in the fermenter a bit too long. It was in there for about, 3.5-4 weeks, and it's taking quite a while to carbonate. It's been in the bottle now for 2 weeks, which should be plenty, but it's getting firm, but it's just not there yet. But I thought I want to try one, see what they taste like. So that's what's going to be today's review. The Munton's Handcrafted Smugglers Special Ale. So let's get it open. Oh, that was tight. Well, there's CO2 coming out, so that's a good sign. And I'll pour it a bit aggressively because, look at that. It's not really carbonating as I would have wished. But there's still bubbles in there. It's just the head's not. Yeah, there's still bubbles rising. This was a 3/4 teaspoon of sugar in each bottle. There's a little wispy head. But 3 to 4 weeks in a fermenter, a lot of the yeast will have dropped out, and so it will get there eventually. It could just take twice as long, basically. But, I'll give it a go. It's carbonating because there's bubbles rising in the glass. It's a nice amber colour. Okay, what's it? The aroma. Right. Faint aroma. Malt. Mostly. And not much else. A little bit of hop, like a herbliness, but it's a light aroma. Right, well, I'm going to try it. It's been 2 weeks. Normally this would have had a nice head on, but that's what happens when you're lazy and you leave stuff in the fermenter far too long. Okay, it's crystal clear, as you would imagine. Let's dive in. Oh, that's a surprise. That's different. Oh, wow. Actually, maybe it's the glass. Because I've had a beer in here before. I think it's the glass, because that tastes really carbonated. Not really carbonated, but for an English ale, that's a very pleasant carbonation. So I think the head is probably just the glass, because I did, about an hour ago, I had a Fuller's London Pride so maybe that's affected it. Let me give it a swirl, see if that helps. But taste wise, that tastes like a really nicely carbonated English ale. It's not fizzy like a lager. I'm going to have to just change my glass on for these reviews. That tastes nice. Sweet malts. Let's have another go. Sweet malts and a little bit of bitterness on the back end, not too much. You know what? This tastes remarkably similar to my wild yeast ale version 2, which was for 10 litres, a kilogram of pale malt, half a kilogram of medium stroke amber malt, and East Kent Goldings, and this tastes remarkably similar. Yeah, I think they've used East Kent Goldings in this. That's a nice pint. That really is a nice pint. Appearance wise it may not look the best, but that's because it wasn't the cleanest glass. My fault. But that's a really nice tasting pint. It's a pub beer. It's a typical English pub bitter. It's nothing shouting at you. It's malt forward, but there's nothing really that's, you know, grabbing your attention. It's just a really pleasant, I suppose you could call it like an old-fashioned type beer. Just a very pleasant drink on a Sunday afternoon. If you remember, I also did the Oaktail in the same range. Now the Oaktail to me was like an old ale. This is more like your standard beer, your standard English bitter. That's very nice. Mind you, it's hard to find a kit today that isn't nice if you brew it correctly. The technology that goes into these kits is, it's far and above what used to be used 10, 20 years ago. That they do produce some commercial quality beers. Mistakes like with this, with the head retention, tend to be down to you rather than the actual kit, if you brew it correctly. Now with this, I left it a bit too long in the fermenter. Probably not enough yeast went into the bottles. That's affected the carbonation. It does taste nice though in the mouth. The carbonation is about right. So I'll just have to drink some more, won't I, in different glasses. I think it's the glass. I think I should have washed the glass or used a different glass before I did this taste test. But taste wise, it's a really nice beer. It's remarkably similar to my wild yeast ale. Very nice. I think they've used East Kent Goldings, and pleasant bitterness on the back end, but not overpoweringly bitter. Just a really nicely well balanced English ale. Yeah, these days you're hard pressed to make a bag kit, unless it's just some cheap kit. If you get these premium kits, this is a 2-can kit. If you brew it right, you're going to get a cracking beer. Right. Well, I'm going to get back to the radio. I'm going to talk to somebody somewhere in the world. No, I don't know yet. What you do on these radios is either they call out and say, you know, basically I'm here, and you answer them, or you do. You call out. So I would say my call sign M7AGG on the side. I'm listening for any contact, and then literally anybody from anywhere in the world will come and just talk to you. Amazing for a radio this size. Right, so I'm going to carry on doing this. Oh, the screen's gone off. Have I made any contacts? No, not yet. And I'm just going to play ham radio, drink beer. Oh, I've got a salami as well, my homemade salami. I'm going to have a few slices of that. I've got my heater on, all nice and snug in the corner, and I'm going to have a pleasant Sunday afternoon. Hope you have a nice Sunday, or whatever day it is that you're watching this. Hope you've had a great day, and as always, I'll see you again in the next video. Bye bye for now.